Hey YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to the Dance That Toy Review. Guess what, guys? I've got the trains back up and running! Hooray! Well, yes, like I said with the guys, it's not going to be a case of planes, trains and automobiles, but as I'm recording this video on July the 20th, of course, we had a very peculiar summer. It has been very, very hot yesterday and also Monday. What was very, very strange was that so far, if you remember on that PONIES toy review yesterday, I was pretty much feeling the heat. In fact, it was very hot. We've been pretty much in the midst of a heat wave, and yes, despite being in the midst of a heat wave, well, I'd definitely say yesterday was the last day of it, of course, because you know why? Well, to tell this, guys, let me just go ahead and grab the webcam, because obviously, what you see here is some kind of news report so far, and yes, what has been very, very strange was that apart from Heathrow Airport, there's also another place, 40 degrees Celsius, the first time ever. I mean, let me just show you the real 40 degrees record. Lincolnshire, Coningsby, Lincolnshire. Overall, it is the hottest place ever in England, ever since beating the record temperature in Cambridge back in July of 2019. And funnily enough, both 2022 and 2019 are basically the 2 years where not only where my YouTube channel was present, but guess what? We have got a new record of 40 degrees Celsius, and that is the dangers and also the scary part when it comes into climate change. And yes, climate change isn't really just a myth, it actually is 100% a reality. And that seems to be the most scariest thing that people can ever think. And I think it has been the hottest July since, like, you know, the 3-year gap from 2019. And that's basically almost like feeling like, you know what I mean? It's like you're in Sydney and I would just say, after Christmas, I guess. And it's quite weird getting that temperature, 40.3 degrees Celsius. And yes, apart from a long drought for 2 weeks, what we also had was something quite, you know, completely and utterly diabolical. I mean, we had severe fires in London, of course. It weren't really that severe, but I would probably guess minor. And I'd probably think back to that bushfire in the Licky Hills. That was actually kind of a minority, because, well, obviously I actually thought of that as kind of like, you know, just a minor problem, because, well, it's all to do with all kinds of barbecuing idiots and drongos outside. I don't know, but it seems like that. Yes, the new record is in Coningsby, Lincolnshire. Whoever thought Heathrow Airport can pretty much reach at this temperature here? 40.3 degrees Celsius. That is the very first time that the UK has reached 40 degrees Celsius. And I think that's very scary hearing that. Very, very scary. In fact, this is pretty much part of climate change. And I do know that apart from the UK, I think the rest of Europe has been endured some very, very, very diabolical hot weather so far. Like, you know, Spain, Portugal, France, you know, Morocco, of course. Greece and Turkey, of course, I believe. Maybe Algeria. I'm also thinking of North Africa as well. But yes, it has been unexpectedly hot, as I would have never thought. 104.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that is something very high and very rare to see. But it's also very scary. Remarkably scary. I can tell you what, I was pretty much fainting. Not only fainting, but sweating so hard and also burning so hard yesterday and Monday. My God, and I mean, my crikey, say, it must have been quite the shocker to hear that. But anyways, apart from the blabbering, I've got this train here. I've got the Disney train running, of course. And what's also right behind me is this beautiful Tommy Clarell N700 Shinkansen bullet train with that cool light at the front. How cool is that? And I have to say, these trains look fairly awesome. I mean, look at the way they are tunneling along the way here. But yes, it really does paint a very dark picture on how climate change is becoming this real and not a myth. So, yes, with the fact that we've never ever had a 40-degree record, or so about I'm saying, we've never had a 40-degree record so far in the United Kingdom, and that's been quite strange. It has taken like a 3-year gap that I would have never thought it would eventually happen. Well, yes, it certainly did. Very, very strange. Of course, it's quite, you know, obviously debatable, but yeah, Lincolnshire, honestly, Lincolnshire. Oh, pardon me, sorry, I burped. That is actually very, very serious. That. Of course, yes, apart from the minor Lithius fire, there's also been a very, very, very bad fire in London as well. You know, a severe burning of a house in London as well. That was very horrible. In fact, it was so melancholy to look at because of just how bad and also concerning climate change actually is becoming. And I think that really... let me just move that sticker away, I think. Which is that thing there, that sticker. Oh well. Okay, so obviously it actually becomes so dark. It really is scary just to think about that house on fire. I mean, it feels like the UK is turning into Australia. I don't know about you, but anyways, speaking about the UK, I'm going to be taking a look at 6 of those flip-up waterbird toys. I don't know about you, but 5 of them are in the British Wildlife Collection toy range. One of them is not, but yes, in this video, let me just go ahead and show you one of the first flip-up products that I did so far during the hot spell 2022, July 2022 as I'm talking about, of course. It's this, it is a flip-up origami solar on trainer. Oh man, let's just hope the clap problem isn't occurring. Of course, it's a flip-up origami, British Wild Collection, swimming male mallard duck, eclipse plumage, small flock, it's a 5-pack. Let me just go ahead and write the number 5. Why did I forget to write the number 5? God dang it! It costs about £5, of course. There is the back of the packaging. It comes with 5 ducks. And yes, this is what I did back then. Of course, a couple of days ago, as I, didn't realise I can do water toys in hot summer days. But anyways, let's just go ahead and come and do the unpacking. Out you come, duckies! Out you come! And yes, it's not too bad whenever I think about those ducks. Hey, they look pretty cool. And yes, they all look very similar to what I did back then. Sorry, train. I feel like I'm just... It's quite weird that the table or the desk I'm in is not really as big as what I think of, Yeah, it actually reminds me that, during toy reviews back in January 2021 when I did that big vlog. There you go. That's what the male mallard drake looks like. Here's its wings here as well. Fairly nice. I might have to pick it up via camera. But yes, it looks fairly nice. Here's the other one as well. In fact, there's actually one mallard duck. All of them are drakes. All of them are males in their eclipse plumage because they haven't got the beautiful bright colours that they get during like autumn time until like midsummer, of course. But hey, these guys look fairly nice. This one here looks like it's got a bit of a different wing design. If I compare it like so, here you go. I've actually realised that this one here seems to be a little bit quite different because if I line up with this duck here, it seems to be very, very different. If I think about it, you know what I mean? It's a bit of an inch, actually inches smaller than that there because obviously I was having trouble to colour in the midst of a tropical heatwave on Monday when I made that. So, sorry about the other one out for the duck. But hey, so what I gotta say, would have never thought about making a beautiful duck model. Really nice. Apart from the ducks, of course, yeah, I've actually got other birds to cover in this video. Especially seagulls, of course. Who could you never ever forget about the phenomenon, actually I'll say the eponymous seagulls of what I do in my British Wildlife Collection toy reviews. Here you go, that's the name, male eclipse plumage mallard drake. Drake being a term for a male duck, obviously. And hey, they've got very cool looking black tail ends and white tail ends, and hey, they look fairly nice. And also, let's not forget, their heads look pretty nicely detailed, quite realistic actually in the way the head's being rendered. Quite nice actually, really nice. Looks like the head seems to be proportioned a bit too low on that one there, I think. This one here looks good. Okay, that nice one. Obviously, whenever I look at those models, it's a bit noisy whenever I do toy reviews in the computer room with trains. Same thing I do in the bedroom because, you know what I mean, it actually becomes very difficult for what I'm doing at the moment. And it's also very humid. In fact, as I'm making this video, it's still quite warm, but nevertheless, it's about 20 degrees cooler. Next up, we're going to take a look at is this product here. It's a Origami British Wildlife Collection Swimming Summer Roosting Black-Headed Gulls Feeding Venti 12-pack. It costs about £10. There is the back of the packaging, which looks like that. You know, I've already done toy reviews based on seagulls a lot though, particularly the black-headed ones. Okay, let me just go ahead and crack this one, Get these guys out. Whoa, a bit of burger action and a bit of fish action as well. Out you come, you lot indeed. And there's also a bit of bread action as well. So yes, you can feed the birds with bread. A bit of burger action. Actually, it's a bit of a beef burger whenever I look at that. Yeah, American food, Looks pretty nice. We've also got a cup of carp which looks like that. Okay, so that looks fairly nice thing. Just random, mundane looking carp. If I show you one up close, that's what it looks like. And of course, yes, I can tell you what, it's very raucous because of the trains in the background and also one right behind me. I can tell you what, the sounds of the trains, they are pretty nice to listen to, but they are belching pretty hard because of how close the webcam is. But anyways, let me just take a look at all those black-headed gulls in different forms. Okay, so we've got a lot of black-headed gulls, but there's actually quite a lot of different variations in the way they've been rendered. I'm actually quite very curious. Very curious. Also, speaking about burgers, I've got that big vlog on the 21st of July, being Thursday the 21st, so that makes sense. And yes, I'll be talking about, you know, the weight loss industry because it's very important to think about it. And I also want to do it because obviously it's going to be like, you know, all about the weight loss industry. Not only that, but I also wanted to talk about it because, well, it actually brings back memories after watching, you know, the Big Mac downside video and also the McDonald's challenge videos I've seen before and the Morgan Spurlock Super Size Me video. Yeah. And actually, let's just take a look at the black-headed gulls. We've got a pair of, I think these are juvenile black-headed gulls because of their pink beaks at the front. And they've also got designs like that, like so. And we've also got beautiful designs which look like that, with the wings and stuff like that. Yeah, okay, there's the back of the tail here as well. And we've also got this one here. So not a black-headed gull, but this one's in winter plumage, as you can tell. It's like a headphone sort of head. And look at that, it's got brackets here, black-headed gull winter. And we've also got a couple of those summer plumage black-headed gulls, going by the chocolate brownish colorization on their heads. Beautiful eye colours, And we'll grab the other one here as well. It looks fairly nice, doesn't it? It looks fairly nice. Very cool. Very nice to see. There you go, there's the other side here as well. And yes, we've also got this form here, and this is a first winter black-headed gull. I can definitely tell by the way they've been rendered like so. And actually, as July progresses all the way towards August, you get to see a lot more of those guys. More so than in the early and the middle part of July, because they're actually exiting their breeding colonies. Not only that, but they're also refueling, you know, their bodies as part of their, you know, make the most sort of thing in the UK before flying down south. So let's just say Africa. That's where they'll be flying downwards, I think. Yeah, southern birds always fly down to southern skies during late summer and early autumn. Well, obviously, it was mid-autumn actually, or late autumn. I thought I would probably say the rest of autumn and before winter actually. You know, before early winter hits. That's whenever I think of migratory birds. Okay, moving on along. Got another duck themed product. It's not a British Wildlife Collection toy, but it's called the Khaki Campbell Domestic Duck Small Swimming Flop 5-pack. Looks very mallard-ish, £5. It actually gives me a bit of Crossy Road type vibes. Why am I actually thinking of that video game, Crossy Road? You know, the ducks in the video game, Crossy Road. That's why it actually rings a bell on me. I don't know why. Let me just go ahead and pack this baby up. Tell what, the sounds of the trains, they are belching so hard! Crikeys! Anyways, sorry if I'm getting so loud here, but yes, here's one of the ducks here. Okay, so it's basically like a domestic mallard duck, if you can tell by the design like that. Almost looks like some kind of cartoon eclipse plumage mallard. Very weird looking head, but there's no, how do you say it, supercilium details with the head and the eye patches and whatnot. There's no eye patches on that thing. Of course, yes, there's the other duck there as well. It's got a bit of a colour combination of yellow and grey on the duck via the beak colour, of course. The tail looks cool. There you go, there's its wings on both sections of the bird. That looks fairly nice to me, eh? And in fact, hey, that looks pretty awesome. Not gonna lie though. We've also got those three guys. In fact, there's actually, this one here is quite different. It's got like a greenish and brownish sort of colour combined sort of duck. Almost looks like if this duck is heading towards eclipse plumage. And yes, if I show the other side of the bird, there you go, that's what it looks like. Yeah, looks actually pretty synonymous of what I'm looking at. Yep, looks quite good. And we've also got those guys here. I've actually noticed that this one's got a bit of a blackish sort of second end, I think, because the rear end is pretty much brown. And here's another one of those khaki Kanba ducks. Looks like another one of those domesticated mallards because of the bottle green sort of head, as you can tell, going by the colours and the looks of it, of course. Yeah, looks pretty reminiscent whenever I think of that duck, eh? Of a mallard duck. Here's the other one there. Okay, it looks fairly nice, doesn't it? Fairly nice. And mind you, making toys like this really ramps up the whole fun part of doing toy reviews and whatnot, eh? Fairly awesome stuff indeed. But yeah, this is actually fairly good. There you go, going a bit of grey right at the back there. Yeah, overall, looks very simplistic. And comparing that to a regular wild mallard duck, they actually seem to be appearing a lot more fatter and a little bit obese. As strange as it sounds, because I've actually noticed that domesticated ducks tend to weigh heavily than that of wild mallard ducks. And I can tell you what, as I'm speaking really loud, because the whole train activity is belching out a whole bunch of sounds, and I don't know about you, it seems like it's going to be very difficult. But anyways, moving right along, let's take a look at another duck theme product. It's of course, something very rare here. I don't have to make those, but it's a flip-flop origami British Wild collection. Swimming male common eider duck, eclipse plumage, feeding and foraging flop back. Costs about £14 or £13.99. Crikeys! Woo! That is a rare species, guys. I've never ever thought of making another common eider themed product. I think the last time I did one of those was back in 2019 when I did a Flapping Bird toy product, and another one which also had a swimming breeding plumage eider duck. And my crockies, that is pretty much the third time I've done it so far, eh? Although, with that being said, I've already seen eider ducks at the local Dudley Zoo twice, I think. Here you go, part of the British Wild collection, toy range, hooray! And I also did a book, I think, that was the, actually this is the 4 bison I've made so far, eh? Out they come, out come the mussels! And here come the eider ducks, and whoa, look how different those ducks are! Okay, so this is what an eider duck would normally tend to look like, eh? A very different sort of duck, because you know what they do. I know the females sort of quack, I guess, but the males, they often go like a ooh sort of sound effect. They often go like ooh, that sort of courtship sound, I guess. But this is their eclipse plumage. That is what they look like after their breeding season has pretty much came to a grinding halt. Okay? So yes, we've got a combination of brown and white with a yellow beak on the front, which looks very sort of daggered looking, I guess. There you go, there's the wings that look like that. There's a black tail in here, and yes, very importantly enough, common eider drake in eclipse plumage, hooray! And yes, here comes another one. There you go, should have put male common eider in eclipse plumage, but I don't know. Or if it was a male equal plumage common eider, that would have been so much better, right? But there you go. So it says there, common eider and equal plumage with a bit of a very weird folded and bent looking sort of head, which is kind of weird. Very, very weird. And yes, I would never have thought that, hey, I'll be making another product all about ducks. As funny as it sounds, I bet the concentration of ducks, hopefully in the near future, will be very, very high, because obviously, you know, I'll be making as many ducks as I can, hey. Really awesome to see, right? There you go. Looks pretty awesome. And yes, they've got like black on the bottom here as well, except at the rear. And of course, yes, their wings are just bloomin' plain brown. And to prove to you like that, that's what they all look like. And I'm not making that one, guys. And I've also got some muscles here as well. And mind you, after speaking pretty high, so what, my throat is going to pretty much be lost. I don't know about you, but my throat would actually go off completely and utterly after, completely be hurt. Because of the trains. There you go. There you go, lots of very, very intricate sort of line detailing going on here. It looks fairly nice. Fairly nice stuff, hey? I could tell what the guys are. This is actually just chronically amazing. And yeah, I think I've made muscle themed toys like that before, but hey, I think I've already seen the same muscle design before. But yes, I think common eiders often prefer mussels, which is their favourite, you know, delicacy of all time. I think it's their favourite piece of delicacy as part of their natural diet. With the train belching a whole bunch of raucousness, and with my voice, let's move on to another flip-up product before it gets blooming noisy. And finally enough, we've got 2 products left. Okay, so the next one is another black-headed Gulls themed product. Which one is it going to be? It is that one there, the Origami British Life Collection, Swimming of Black-headed Gull and Common Eurasian Coot. Friendly, how do you say it? Feeding frenzy. I think it's a 12-pack. Well, looks at it, I think I should write. Oh wait, it actually says number 12. I thought I was going to write the number here, but it's already implemented. Crikeys! Here you go, there's the back of the packaging, which looks like that. I can tell what my voice is belchingly so risingly high, because I can tell what, the trains are pretty much, you know, raucous. Okay, so let me just lift the webcam up just to see the artwork like so, in a very proper fashion, that sort of way. There you go, that's what these guys are like. There's a juvenile coot, there's a black-headed gull and its beautiful summer plumage head, and there's what it looks like to be a coot, and there's a piece of bread for the birds to gobble on. Oh yeah, we've also got some fish as well, obviously based on common carp. And hey, they don't look too bad, out they come! Woo! Okay, so yes, that is what it comes up from the packaging, I suppose. So we've got some bread here. Obviously with orange as the centre, which is quite interesting, and of course yes, they are brown pieces of bread. Obviously they're fake pieces of bread because of the way they're rendered like so. And we've also got some fish, obviously based on carp, obviously I think I've seen everything like that now. But hey, it's still quite a nice looking sort of renderization of a carp, wild carp. And let's move on to the birds. We've also got a juvenile coot, which looks like that. Hey, and it looks like it's got grey wings and a whitish sort of end on the tail, but it's actually grey actually. There's the name, Juvenile Common Eurasian Coot. My goodness me. Yes, we've got brown eyes on both sides here. That looks fairly nice. And we've also got a couple of adult common Eurasian coots. I better have to pick up the camera very quickly because the train just nearly clobbered the whole camera. Okay, so it just nearly rammed onto the camera. There you go, there's its name here, and there you go, that's what it looks like, eh? Just a beautiful adult common Eurasian coot with that pointy, powerful beak at the front, which looks pretty much amazing. I do know that when these guys are babies, and when their babies cry out and beg for food, they would actually kill their chicks, because obviously I've actually realised they would actually peck on the chick and kill it because of their completely and utterly utter demanding, instantaneous demanding for food. So that's why these guys can be quite aggressive parents, which is actually very cruel, sadly. But hey, nature can be cruel in so many ways, you know. But yes, let's take a look at the black-headed gulls. Of course, yes, this is basically a summer plumage black-headed gull, which looks like that. Okay, I've seen it many times though, in fact. Yes, all of the wing detailings are pretty much similar, like so, if I can show it to you. Obviously, but yeah. Still quite a nice looking boot design, of course. And we've also got this, another one as well. So what, everything's all similarly designed like so. Oh, we've got another webcam footage going on here. And we've also got a juvenile black-headed gull. I think I've seen quite a few of them today. When I was actually being picked up and drove into the centre. There was actually quite a few on the roundabouts and also at the local park and also at the side of the road. Hey, that is pretty nice to see. Black-headed gulls, especially the juvenile ones. And yes, come autumn time, they'll be molting onto their first winter plumage, which will be their next plumage before the eponymous black-headed gull gathering begins around not just autumn but also winter. And then when springtime comes again, well, guess what? They'll be pretty much going back to their colonies once and for all. And then the cycle repeats once again with line and over again. I can tell you what guys say, it's going to be, you know, completely and utterly just the cycle things, obviously, eh? Alright, let's move on to our last pickup product. And it's of course another black-headed gull product, but oh my crikey! 13 pounds! It's a swimming juvenile black-headed gull large flock top pack. I never thought I'd be using the term large. That would have been quite, you know, pretty much occasional. But there's the back of the packaging, which pretty much looks like that. So, that's why I was making this video. I've actually realised that all of these birds have got names. So, let's just get those guys out. Well, to tell you what, this is much noisier than what I had before in previous videos so far, eh? And my crikeys, this is even more noisier than the other toy video I've done so far in the previous weeks or so. Crikey! Man, I don't know about you, but I'm just yelling so hard because of this whole raucousness of the trains. Okay, so we've got the juvenile black-headed gulls. They all look pretty much the same. They all look pretty much the same, and they also look very close to the first winter black-headed gull, which would probably appear around not just late July, but also around early August. But yes, they'll be molting their feathers, but also their beak colorization would also change as well. Yes, not all black-headed gulls are pretty much designed the same way. This one's got a bit of a bent-looking beak. But you know what? Looks pretty cool and good whenever I see birds being designed like that, huh? Even that one there's got a bit of a very severe. It's quite weird. A lot of the yeah, it's quite funny that a lot of those juvenile black-headed gulls, that's what they're called, have got a lot of bent beaks because of the way they're being packed up like so. That's what these sounds saying. Man, I would have never thought that this would pretty much come up to my mind, eh? They get a bit of a very weird bent looking beak, which looks like so. Okay, nice one, isn't it? And I would have never thought we'd be having a massive gathering of black-headed gulls. How cool is that one, huh? And mind you, this is just amazing. Yes, just completely and utterly awesome. With the train going by, and looks like this one's flying and swimming at the same time. So I'll call it flimming. Or fly swimming, I don't know. Maybe I could refer it as both. But I don't know. But hey, you know what, it's still quite a fairly nice looking toy. Oh, there you go, there's the other webcam window here. But hey, strangely enough, I don't know about you, but it is nearly coming to the end of our toy review. And thank goodness for me, for covering such a long video on YouTube, because I've been discussing about, you know, on how hot it has been yesterday, and also Monday has been devilishly difficult to cope because obviously of how hot it was. Obviously hotter than Malaysia, and man, I would have never thought that the UK would reach 40 degrees Celsius for the first time, and that is one of the most hair-raising things I must have been discovering this year. But anyways, this seagull's got a bit of a bent beak, and that's how I'm going to end the video, like so. I'm going to pack all those mummy flipping or flocking seagulls away, all those mummy flocking seagulls. Sorry if I'm sounding a little bit sort of, kind of almost vulgar actually, but yes, ostentatiously euphemistic, if these words are pretty much, you know, sensical. But yes, anyways, if you're really enjoying this very dreadfully raucous video, because obviously we've got trains right in front of me, but also, yes, I'll show you this train, for the train fans, and also this train here, right behind me, so if you really enjoyed in this very raucously dreadful video, and also I've got the big vlog on the 21st of July tomorrow, please give this video a good like, subscribe for more of our videos in the future, and as always, thanks so much for watching, and bye for now, and hopefully, after making this video, I'm totally out from this utter noise. Bye!